Minnesota has a vibrant agricultural community, but some people have been left off the farm.
In tonight's Voices for Change, Maury Glover explores the renewed effort by some African Americans to go into farming and become stewards of their land.
So this area over here is what's remaining of like our brassicas. So this is like kale, and this is the Tuscany kale. And then over here you have some of the cabbages.
The growing season may be over for Lakeisha Witter.
You can see this is some of the radishes here. So you can kind of see.
But some of her ideas are beginning to take root.
I think we put a lot of emphasis on being the next NBA player, the next football, but farming is a thing too. It's a big thing, you know? It's like the future of the world that we live in.
Even though she has no formal training and no one in her family is involved in farming, the Bethel University professor bought this 5-acre farm in Oak Grove about 3 years ago, both to live a healthier lifestyle and to learn more about the food she puts in her body.
I just remember growing up as a little kid, my punishment was growing up was to go outside because I was a reader. I didn't like going outside. I didn't want to get dirty. So I never thought in a million years that I would be loving the outside.
On her farm, named Live Organically, Witter grows more than 60 different crops.
Zucchini, squash, peppers, I mean, you name it, we pretty much grow it.
But as a black female farmer, plowing new ground has yielded a bounty of interesting reactions.
So I've been at the markets before. I've talked to people and they look at me like, you don't look like a farmer. And you know, and I have to dig deeper and say, well, what does a farmer look like? So I use these moments as moments to re-educate them, to let them know that the way that you maybe have experienced farming or thought of farming, you know, being predominantly male or white is changing. There's more people, you know, that are coming into it, and it's okay if I look different.
According to the United States Department of Agriculture, less than 2% of all farms in the country are owned or operated by African Americans. Here in Minnesota, that number is just 0.03%. In fact, the latest census of agriculture found only 39 black farmers out of more than 68,000 in the entire state.
In essence, agriculture is still very white in Minnesota. I'm surprised that the number is so low, you know, but, you know, the whole point is to be able to increase the number.
In a recent report on emerging farmers in Minnesota, the State Department of Agriculture found access to land and the financing to buy it are the biggest barriers for people of color to get into farming. And since there are fewer farmers of color, there are also fewer opportunities for family farms to be handed down from one generation to the next, like their white counterparts.
Discrimination is rampant, right? You know, whether it's predatory lending when it comes to, you know, loans or denial of those loans. You know, there's always discrimination in terms of ethnicity. We have a lot of work to do, but, you know, there's no time like the present. And I think of different, you know, about our most brightest scientists like George Washington Carver will be really proud to be able to see how there's more emerging farmers, regardless of color, that are taking more interest into the land and being more and being protective of the land.
I'm so mad that I didn't grow radishes.
Lizzie Bryant may be helping her friend tend a plot in St. Paul's Frogtown Farms, but she has plans to own her own farm one day.
It just has become increasingly important and apparent to me that we need to shift our relationship to the land. And our relationship to our food systems. She started a crowdfunding campaign called Grow a Young Black Farmer in Minnesota that has raised more than $80,000 of its $365,000 goal. She wants to buy her aunt's 25-acre farm in southern Minnesota to operate as both a goat cheese dairy and a rural gathering space for black Minnesotans. To come and be nurtured and nourished, and to just be without fear or threat of violence. In a beautiful natural landscape, I feel, is an important and inherently healing and nourishing thing.
This is where some of the beans were for last year, so we had beans and we had corn.
Witter says planting the seeds to produce more farmers of color is an idea that's time has come. And by doing so, she believes Minnesota can put its own harvest of shame out to pasture.
I feel like with the midst of everything and all of the changes that's going on in the world, why not shake up farming? Let's not shake up the farming industry. Let's not shake up agriculture. This is the perfect time to do it.
For Voices for Change, Maury Glover, Fox 9 News.
The State Ag Department offers a microloan program to help non-traditional farmers buy equipment and other assets. It also operates a directory of farmers with no heirs interested in selling or renting their land to a beginning farmer. The agency also recently created an Emerging Farmers Working Group. Its goal is to make it easier for beginning farmers from underserved groups to create an agricultural business.